Welcome, deep divers. Today we're really plunging headfirst into something that, well, it touches pretty much every corner of modern life.
Hmm.
We're talking about those pressures, the subtle ones, sometimes the not so subtle ones that shape what we want, what we show off, and how we stack ourselves up against everyone else.
Right, that constant comparison.
Exactly. We're looking at the chase for possessions, that urge to, shout our achievements from the rooftops, and, of course, that big digital stage where it all happens, flex culture.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
So for this deep dive, we've gathered a whole stack of really compelling insights from a creator called Be Empowered Media.
They do great work.
They really do. Their perspective on, human behavior and all these societal pressures is just remarkably clear. We found it super valuable for prompting, well, self-reflection, maybe a bit of growth, too.
Absolutely. It makes you think.
So our mission today, basically unpack their arguments, connect the dots between these things, materialism, boasting, flexing, and figure out the core message that kind of ties it all together.
The through line.
Precisely.
Yeah.
This is all about giving you, the listener, a really solid, profound understanding of what's going on and how it actually impacts us. And the sources we're using today, they're actually transcripts from a series of their videos. They're like these sharp, really well put together bursts of insight.
Yeah, very digestible but deep.
Totally. And what's cool is how they go beyond just, surface stuff. They really dig into the psychology, the social dynamics behind it all.
The why.
Exactly. It feels like a fresh take, kind of encouraging this journey towards what they call inner richness. That's a theme you'll hear a lot today.
It is. And their skill in taking these, complex human behaviors and making them so understandable, so actionable, it's genuinely impressive.
I agree.
As we get into it, you'll see how these things we might think of separately, wanting stuff, bragging about stuff, showing off online, they're actually all linked up, different sides of the same coin, really. It's all about understanding the roots and then seeing just how widespread the impact is.
Okay, so let's dive in. First, big concept. Materialism. How does Be Empowered Media define it? Well, it's not just liking nice things.
No, it's more than that.
Right. It's placing this incredibly high value, almost a defining value, on accumulating stuff. Possessions, wealth. They argue it's a mindset where your happiness isn't just influenced by what you own.
It's equated with it.
Exactly. Happiness becomes what you own, not who you are, your character, your experiences, none of that. And it's really important the creator makes this clear. They're not saying enjoying comfort or investing in something quality is bad.
Not at all.
The key distinction, the harmful part, is when that desire for stuff starts to overtake the really crucial values.
Yeah, like compassion.
Right. Purpose, real human connection, even spiritual well-being. When owning things becomes more important than those, that's when the problems start. For you, for everyone, it's about where your values really lie.
Precisely. And Be Empowered Media does a fantastic job illustrating this by breaking down these common traits you often see in someone with a materialistic mindset. They list 5 characteristics.
Okay.
And once you hear them, you'll probably start, recognizing them. Maybe in people you know, maybe even sometimes a little bit in yourself.
Let's hear them.
Okay, so the first one they highlight is this constant pursuit of the latest trends.
Ah, the upgrade cycle.
Exactly. It's not just getting a new phone because your old one finally died. It's this, compulsive drive to upgrade everything, gadgets, clothes, cars, even if what you have works perfectly fine.
Right, like needing the newest iPhone the day it drops.
Precisely. Or refreshing your whole wardrobe every single season just because styles change. The motivation isn't utility, is it? It's social status. It's about feeling current or maybe even ahead of the curve.
Projecting success.
Yeah, believing that having the newest, shiniest thing elevates your standing. It signals, hey, look at me, I'm successful. Okay, moving on. The second trait, a real preoccupation with money.
How does that show up?
Well, it goes way beyond just being financially responsible. For people deep in materialism, conversations tend to circle back to money. A lot.
Like talking about salaries all the time.
Salaries, expenses, investments, how much things cost. You might notice they bring up price tags constantly, or even how much other people make. It signals that wealth and showing it off is really central to how they see the world.
So money isn't just a tool, it's the main focus.
Yeah, it becomes almost a defining characteristic, yeah. A yardstick for measuring their own worth and often the worth of others too. And third, this one's maybe the most obvious today. The social media showcase.
Instagram feeds.
Exactly. This is where you really see that clear overlap with flex culture starting to pop up. People using platforms like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, very explicitly to display their possessions.
The new car, the fancy
It's a
vacation.
luxury watch, the expensive dinner, the designer handbag, you name it. And the primary goal isn't just sharing an experience, it's actively seeking validation.
Likes, comments, shares.
Right. They're looking for that external applause for their lifestyle, which is so often defined by what they've bought. It's like a direct plea. Look what I have. Please tell me I'm worthy.
Wow, that's quite a stark way to put it.
It can be. Okay, fourth trait, the constant presence of comparison and envy.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Exactly that, but often amplified like crazy. When a materialistic person sees someone else with, better possessions, a bigger house, a fancier car, it often triggers these really deep feelings of inadequacy.
Not just a fleeting thought, then.
No, it's like this gnawing urge to get something similar or even better just to match or one-up them. If a friend gets a new gadget, suddenly they need an even newer, better one. It becomes this relentless, deeply unsatisfying cycle.
Because your success is always measured against others.
Precisely. Your internal benchmark keeps shifting based on what everyone else has, not on what actually brings you genuine peace or joy. And finally, the fifth trait is a bit more tangible, but just as telling. Cluttered living spaces.
Interesting. How so?
Their homes might often be just full of stuff, lots of unused or rarely used items. It reflects this tendency to just accumulate things without really thinking about whether they're useful or necessary.
Just more is better.
Kind of. It speaks to this belief that having more stuff inherently means you're more, or at least more secure or higher status. It's accumulation just for the sake of it, often driven by this subconscious idea that your possessions define you.
That paints a really clear picture. And as you mentioned, the creator digs deeper, right? Saying it's not just wanting things, but a whole value system.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
They frame it as this ingrained system where possessions become absolutely central to your identity. And they break it down even further into 5 sort of nuanced forms. It shows just how varied this mindset can be.
Okay, let's unpack those.
First up is acquisitive materialism. This is your classic, more, more, more. Just an insatiable desire to constantly get new stuff.
The chase.
Totally. For people like this, happiness isn't really a stable thing. It's always tied to getting the next best thing. You get that thrill from a new purchase, right? That dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm. But it fades fast. Super fast. So you end up in this perpetual chase for the next fleeting high, new phone, bigger house, whatever. The joy is really in the getting, the act of acquiring, not necessarily in the long-term enjoyment of the thing itself. It's a treadmill.
Unsatisfying.
Definitely. Okay, second form, possessive materialism. This isn't just about getting new stuff. It's about finding your identity, your security in what you already own.
Holding on tight.
Exactly. Possessions become like extensions of yourself, almost like a psychological safety blanket. So letting go of things, even stuff you don't use or need, becomes incredibly hard.
Because it feels like losing a part of yourself.
Kinda. There's this deep emotional attachment. Decluttering feels unsettling, maybe even threatening, because those objects are tied up with your self-worth or past identity. It shows how things can become proxies for inner stability.
That makes sense. What's next?
Third is transactional materialism. This is where you use possessions quite explicitly as tools.
Tools for what?
Leveraging stuff to get affection or approval or maybe social or professional advantage. Think of someone who buys really lavish gifts to essentially buy friendship.
Or using wealth to influence people.
Right. The items aren't just for them, they're strategic instruments in social games. Often they're substituting for real emotional connection, empathy, or just putting in the effort. Be Empowered Media points out this basically commodifies relationships, turns them into transactions.
Oof.
Fourth form, and this one is SO-fueled by the digital age, comparative materialism.
Okay, this sounds familiar.
It's where your self-worth is constantly explicitly measured against what other people have. It's not enough to have a nice car.
It has to be nicer than the neighbors.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
this endless scorecard. You're always checking your material ranking relative to others. And social media, oh boy, it just pours gasoline on this fire.
Constant curated glimpses of everyone else's best.
Right. Fueling this relentless comparison cycle that's just impossible to actually win.
Yeah, it's exhausting just thinking about it. And the last one.
The last one is symbolic materialism. Here, objects aren't just things. They're powerful symbols. They're used as clear markers of success, status, or to project a certain lifestyle.
Like a fancy watch isn't just for telling time.
Precisely. It symbolizes I've made it. Or a specific brand of clothing isn't just fabric. It's like a badge signaling you belong to some exclusive group. These items carry all this extra meaning way beyond their practical use. They're outward declarations about where you stand.
Wow. Okay, that breakdown really clarifies the different ways materialism can show up. And this naturally leads us to the consequences, right? Be Empowered Media talks about how devastating these can be.
They do.
And importantly, it's not just what the consequences are, but why they happen because of this mindset. It's a pretty sobering analysis, actually.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Okay, first off, there's this pervasive issue of emotional emptiness. You get that initial high from buying something new.
Yeah.
That dopamine rush is real.
We've all felt that.
Sure, but as the creator points out, that thrill fades incredibly quickly, sometimes just hours or days. So you constantly need more to get that feeling back. It creates this cycle of chronic dissatisfaction, anxiety even.
Because true fulfillment doesn't come from stuff.
Exactly. You can't fill a bottomless pit with temporary pleasures.
Yeah.
You're just left always craving the next thing.
Yeah.
And this emptiness, it spills over into relationship strain.
How so?
Well, think about it. If your time, your energy, your emotional focus is mostly on getting, keeping, showing off possessions,
Yeah.
your real relationships are bound to suffer.
You're not fully present.
Right. You might be physically there with friends or family, but mentally, you're maybe thinking about the next purchase or comparing your stuff or worrying about appearances. It makes genuine empathetic connection really hard.
People feel secondary.
Yeah. And trust can erode. Relationships might become superficial, based more on what you have than who you are. Then there's the really critical issue of a fragile identity.
Fragile because it's built on things.
Exactly. When your sense of self-worth is all tangled up with external goods, built on these shifting sands of possessions, any setback, losing your job, a market crash, even seeing someone else get something better, can trigger profound feelings of worthlessness, insecurity.
Because your foundation is shaky.
Totally. Your identity isn't rooted inside you. It's built on stuff that can be lost or outdated in a heartbeat. It leaves you incredibly vulnerable to circumstances, to what other people think. And of course, there's the financial pressure. That's a big one.
The cost of keeping up.
Huge cost.
Yeah.
That relentless drive to keep up appearances, to get the next best thing, it can easily spiral into serious debt, chronic financial instability. It's a trap.
Working just to buy more stuff.
Right. Instead of working towards, I don't know, freedom, experiences, meaningful goals, it just creates this long-term stress, this treadmill of earning and spending that doesn't actually liberate you. We also can't ignore the massive environmental consequences.
Oh, good point. Overconsumption.
Exactly. Driven directly by these materialistic desires. It leaves this huge, costly footprint on the planet. Think about fast fashion, the constant churn of electronics, luxury goods.
Resource extraction, manufacturing, waste.
All of it. Every item has this whole life cycle that contributes significantly to environmental damage. It's a global impact stemming from individual desires for more. And finally, the creator talks about this idea of hollow success.
What does that mean?
From the outside, someone deep in materialism might look like they have it all, right? The perfect life, tons of money, flawless stuff.
The Instagram ideal?
Exactly. But as the creator puts it so well, true success isn't measured by things. It's found in meaning, contribution, inner peace, genuine connection. That external perfection often just masks a deep lack of real meaning.
So it looks good, but feels empty.
Precisely. It's like a beautiful cage, looks great, seems free, but traps you in this unsatisfying cycle. And what's really crucial here, a point Be Empowered Media hits again and again, is that underneath so many of these materialistic behaviors is this deep craving for external validation.
Right. It's not just liking the thing itself.
No, it's about using the thing to say something about yourself to the world, to get approval. That luxury car isn't just transport. It's yelling, I've made it, I'm successful.
Those designer clothes saying, I matter, I belong.
Exactly. This relentless drive for applause, for others to acknowledge your success, it often masks this underlying insecurity, this lack of inner self-acceptance. You're trying to prove your worth to others because deep down you haven't fully accepted it yourself.
Wow. That connection between materialism and needing external validation, that's incredibly powerful. It really does feel like a core thread in their work.
It is.
And it sets us up perfectly for the next topic they explore, which is often tangled right up with materialism, boasting.
The need to proclaim.
Right. The creator asks the simple question, why do people boast? And their answers, again, dig into these deeper psychological drivers that probably feel familiar to many of us.
I'm curious to hear their take.
Okay, first, and maybe the most significant reason they suggest, is insecurity.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Overcompensating.
Exactly. It's this deep-seated need to prove your worth to other people. The boaster maybe consciously, maybe not, believes that by showcasing achievements, successes, possessions, they'll gain acceptance, admiration, respect.
Yeah, it's almost like a shield, right?
Masking vulnerability.
Yeah. Projecting this exaggerated image of superiority to cover up internal doubts. Trying to convince themselves by convincing everyone else. And closely related is a lack of genuine confidence.
So, needing external praise instead of internal validation.
Precisely. Instead of drawing from their own well of self-esteem, they constantly need others to tell them they're good enough. Their accomplishments need outside applause because their own internal validation just isn't strong or consistent.
That sounds exhausting.
It does. A constant hunger for validation that true inner peace can't satisfy
Right.
creates a vicious cycle. Social conditioning is another big factor they mentioned.
Like how you were raised. Yeah. If you grew up where outward success was always the main thing, always celebrated, where you only got recognition by talking about your wins, you might have learned that boasting is just normal, maybe even expected.
If you don't talk about it, it doesn't count.
Right. It becomes this ingrained habit, maybe not even a conscious choice anymore. And sometimes, Be Empowered Media points out, it's just immaturity or a lack of self-awareness.
Not realizing how it comes across.
Exactly. Someone might genuinely think they're just sharing good news, being open, and have no clue they sound arrogant or self-centered, or that they're making others feel bad. They haven't learned those social cues about humility, about how bragging lands.
The emotional intelligence piece.
Right. And finally, they suggest a desire for control or dominance can fuel it too.
How so? A power play.
Kind of. Some people believe that highlighting how superior they are, smarter, richer, whatever, gives them an edge in social or work situations. It's an attempt to assert their position, maybe subtly put others down to lift themselves up, using it strategically.
Positioning themselves as top dog.
Yeah, seeing it as a tool to get ahead in a competitive world.
That's a really thorough look at the motivations. And, while the boaster might get that temporary kick, that fleeting sense of being on top,
There's always a but.
always, the negative impacts, as Be Empowered Media lays out, are pretty significant. And ironically, they often undermine the very things the boaster is trying to achieve: respect, connection, success.
Okay, what are the main downsides?
Well, first and foremost, boasting almost inevitably leads to strained relationships.
People don't like being around braggers.
Generally, no. Constantly promoting yourself just alienates people. You come across as arrogant, self-centered, maybe just draining to listen to.
Hard to build trust.
Very hard. People are less likely to confide in someone who seems more focused on their own image than on genuine connection or mutual support. It erodes the foundation of real friendship or teamwork. Others feel like just an audience.
Yeah, I can see that.
Secondly, and this is crucial, a boastful mindset can seriously hinder personal growth.
How does that work if you think you're already great?
Exactly. If you're always convinced you're the best, that you've already arrived, why would you seek out feedback? Why learn from mistakes if you don't even admit you make them?
You get stuck.
Totally stuck. This self-congratulatory bubble prevents you from seeing where you could actually improve. It leads to stagnation. No real evolution happens. Thirdly, it can really damage your reputation.
Even if you think you're impressing people.
Especially then. You're far more likely to be seen as insecure, maybe disingenuous, untrustworthy even. People start questioning if your claims are real. A shadow of doubt falls over your actual achievements.
And opportunities might dry up.
Could happen. People often prefer to work with or befriend individuals who are humble, reliable, team-oriented, not someone constantly focused on themselves. Fourthly, boasting often leads straight to isolation.
Interesting. Even if they seem popular.
Yeah, because people naturally gravitate towards others who are relatable, authentic, empathetic, not someone always putting themselves on a pedestal. So the boaster might look successful, might have connections, but often experiences this deep loneliness.
Superficial connections.
Right. People might be around for status reasons, but not for genuine supportive friendship. Leaves the boaster feeling emotionally empty, disconnected from real human warmth. And finally, perhaps counterintuitively, a boastful mindset often breeds unhappiness and discontentment.
Why is that?
Because if your self-worth is totally tied to that external validation, the applause you're constantly chasing, the next achievement, the next public pat on the back, just to prove yourself again.
That endless cycle we talked about with materialism.
Exactly the same dynamic. It's exhausting. You need more and more, and you rarely, if ever, feel genuinely satisfied. The high from boasting is super fleeting, quickly replaced by the pressure to keep that perfect image going. Leads to chronic unhappiness.
That's such a clear picture of the downsides. So what's the antidote Be Empowered Media offers for boasting?
The closing thought on this is really powerful, actually.
Yeah.
They basically say that true strength, real lasting success, it doesn't come from proclaiming your greatness. It comes from demonstrating it. Through consistent effort, genuine humility, and making meaningful contributions, actions speak louder than words, essentially.
So shift the focus inward.
Exactly. It's a call to action. Stop worrying so much about what others think and focus instead on who you genuinely want to become. Embrace humility. Cultivate real connections built on respect, and just let your actions do the talking.
That's powerful. It's not just about avoiding bragging, it's about building a more solid self.
Finding worth from within, not from applause. That's the core.
Okay, brilliant. Now let's bridge this over to the third big area, the one that brings all this into our daily digital lives, flex culture.
The digital stage.
Right. Many of you listening probably know the term. Maybe you see it constantly. Maybe you even participate sometimes. But Be Empowered Media really dissects its impact with incredible clarity. It goes beyond just noticing fancy posts. They introduce it as this phenomenon deeply rooted in social media, affecting almost all of us every single day. They call it a relentless parade of perfection.
That captures it well.
Yeah. A constant showcase of only the best, most impressive, most enviable aspects of our lives.
Designer clothes, exotic trips.
Perfect bodies, huge houses, luxury cars, amazing food. All of it. It's not just a highlight reel. It's the highlight reel amplified and often, sadly, distorted.
Right, not the whole story.
Not even close. And this creates that subtle but really pervasive pressure to perform, to put on a show. You feel like you have to demonstrate this ideal lifestyle, this flawless image of success and happiness, even if it doesn't match your real, complex, often messy life.
It's an act, a curated facade for public approval.
Exactly. Designed for consumption and, yes, external validation again.
And this is where Be Empowered Media really drills down into the core deception of flex culture.
Meaning what we see isn't real.
Very rarely is it the whole unvarnished truth. It's not necessarily a big conspiracy. It's more about systematic omission and sometimes, outright fabrication.
Like that perfect vacation shot.
Right? They point out maybe it took 50 takes to get it right. Maybe the travel is a nightmare. Maybe it was paid for with a credit card that's now causing major stress. None of that makes the final post.
Or the effortless body transformation.
Exactly. That probably involved grueling workouts, super strict diets, maybe even professional help or enhancements that are conveniently never mentioned. It's not just good genes.
So there's this huge gap.
An enormous disconnect, as the creator puts it, between that polished online persona and the complex, messy reality of a human life.
All the struggles, the boring bits, the worries.
Edited out, airbrushed away. What's left is this flawless aspirational narrative that isn't actually true for anyone, but it's presented like it is, like it's achievable, even normal. It's an illusion of constant perfection.
And that illusion is where the damage happens.
That's where it really starts to bite, for the people consuming it.
Okay, let's talk about that. Because this highlight reel isn't just harmless fun, is it? Be Empowered Media really focuses on the negative impacts on us, the audience.
This is where it really hits home for most people.
First, and maybe the most obvious one, is comparison as a thief of joy.
Constantly measuring ourselves against curated images.
Right. Whether you realize it or not, you're comparing your real, unfiltered life with all its ups and downs, its quiet moments, its small wins, to someone else's highly curated, often fabricated online illusion.
It's not a fair fight.
Not at all.
Wow.
But our brains do it automatically, and the result, usually feeling like you're somehow lacking, which just erodes your own contentment. And that leads straight into feelings of inadequacy, right?
Absolutely. You scroll through endless feeds of perfect trips, perfect bodies, perfect families, perfect careers. It's almost impossible not to feel some self-doubt creep in.
Why isn't my life like that?
Or am I not doing enough? Being enough.
Yeah.
It just chips away at your self-esteem. You start feeling like your own reality isn't exciting or successful enough, even if objectively you're doing great.
And that feeling, that pressure can escalate.
Sadly, yes. It can contribute to increased anxiety and even depression. This constant, unbearable pressure to keep up, to achieve that same perceived perfection and material success, it becomes this heavy internal weight.
Trapped chasing likes.
Yeah. Chasing external validation, likes, comments, approval instead of nurturing inner peace, self-acceptance, a solid sense of your own worth. It's an exhausting, unwinnable race that just depletes you mentally and emotionally.
Flex culture also messes with our expectations, doesn't it? It creates unrealistic expectations about life.
Big time. It promotes this dangerous fantasy that success is always linear, always glamorous, always easy, effortless even.
Which completely ignores reality.
Completely. It wipes out the truth about hard work, perseverance, the failures and rejections that are part of any real achievement, the boring, unglamorous grind.
So when things get tough for us,
You feel like you're the only one struggling, like you've failed, rather than recognizing that bumps in the road are universal, actually part of the process. It can leave you feeling really disillusioned when your life doesn't look like the highlight reel.
and it can warp our priorities too.
Definitely. It can lead to distorted priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of focusing on genuine growth or meaningful experiences or real relationships, you might find yourself choosing things just because they'll look good online.
Is this Instagrammable?
Exactly. Will this get likes? That pursuit of superficial validation distracts from what actually matters, leading you down paths that aren't really authentic to you, leaving you feeling kind of hollow.
And that often comes with a real cost financial strain.
Oh, for sure. People feel pressured to spend money they don't have on designer stuff, fancy trips, expensive gadgets, all to create content that projects this image of a lavish life.
Keeping up appearances online.
Right. And it very often leads to unnecessary debt, creating long-term financial stress just to maintain this unsustainable, often false, image.
It must also impact trust online, right? It erodes trust and authenticity.
Yeah, that's a subtle but important one. As more people become aware of how curated and deceptive flex culture can be, you develop this cynical lens.
Harder to genuinely celebrate someone's success?
Yeah, because there's that nagging doubt. Is this real? Is it just for show? What's the angle here?
Mm-hmm.
It makes genuine connection and support online much harder, breeds suspicion instead of community.
And finally, it's just exhausting.
Utterly exhausting. This constant performance, both for the people flexing and for those trying to emulate them, it just drains your mental and emotional batteries.
Leaves no room for just being.
Exactly. No room for real self-discovery, organic creativity, or just enjoying simple, uncurated moments. It's a performance that never stops, leaving you feeling depleted, unfulfilled, and disconnected from your actual self.
Wow, that's a pretty bleak picture of the impact. But Be Empowered Media offers solutions, right? Antidotes to navigate this.
Thankfully, yes. They don't just leave us with the problem. They offer some really powerful ways to push back, focused on returning to core values and finding a healthier way to engage.
Okay, what's the main one?
The most powerful antidote they propose is authenticity. Real, genuine authenticity.
How does that work in practice?
It starts with recognizing that online perfection is usually an illusion. It's not real life. Then, crucially, you have to consciously stop comparing your authentic journey, with all its messy bits, its quiet wins, its real struggles, to someone else's polished highlight reel.
Finding worth internally again.
Precisely. Your true worth, they argue, is inside you. It's who you are, your inherent value. It's not about what you own, how you look, or how many likes you get. That internal validation is the key to peace. And that leads naturally to the next step. Embrace reality, your own reality.
Celebrate the imperfections.
Yes. Celebrate the imperfections, acknowledge the small, everyday victories, appreciate the quiet moments, nurture the real connections that don't need a filter or a public announcement to be meaningful.
Finding joy in the actual substance of life.
Exactly. Those are the foundations of real happiness, they argue.
Yeah.
Far more lasting than the fleeting buzz of likes, valuing substance over superficiality. They also strongly advocate for mindful consumption of social media.
Being deliberate about what you look at.
Yeah. If certain accounts or feeds consistently make you feel bad, inadequate, envious, stressed, take action. Mute them. Unfollow them. Maybe even take a break from social media altogether for a while.
Protecting your mental space.
It's vital. You have to protect your mental well-being from these toxic narratives that just chip away at your peace of mind. Consciously curate your digital diet. It's self-preservation. And lastly, they urge us to seek genuine connections, online and offline.
Find communities that value realness.
Exactly. Engage with creators and communities who share their authentic selves, challenges, learnings, passions, real humanity, not just the perfect outcomes. Prioritize interactions that foster support, empathy, real connection, not competition and comparison. Value shared humanity over manufactured perfection.
Okay. This is really where it all comes together, isn't it? Those aha moments. We've looked at materialism chasing stuff, boasting proclaiming achievements, flex culture, the digital performance. Now, let's explicitly connect those dots.
Yeah, because Be Empowered Media shows so clearly they aren't separate issues. They are facets of the same underlying drive.
Right. So think about it. Flex culture is basically the modern social media-powered engine for both materialistic display and boasting.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You need the stuff to flex.
Exactly. That desire for possessions, for material goods, materialism, it directly fuels the content you need to show off, to flex and boast online. You want the designer gear, the fancy trip, partly for yourself, sure, but also, crucially, because it makes great content for the highlight reel.
Flexing is boasting about what you own.
Pretty much. Often exaggerated, maybe even faked, broadcast to this huge audience. The old school boaster told stories at a party. The modern flexer shows it visually, amplifying the comparison cycle like never before. But the really critical link, the core thread, be empowered media, identifies across all of this. What is it?
It's that deep-seated need for external validation and a lack of inner self-worth or security.
That's the bedrock.
That is absolutely the foundational insight weaving through everything, whether you're buying stuff to feel successful, bragging to feel important, or crafting that perfect online image to feel accepted. The core motivation is so often the same.
Looking outside yourself for approval.
Yeah, a relentless search for applause, for affirmation from others, trying to prove your worth externally because, maybe subconsciously, you haven't fully embraced your inherent worth internally.
And this creates that relentless, unsatisfying cycle we keep mentioning.
The hamster wheel.
Right. Chasing material goods, displaying them, getting that brief high from external validation.
That new car buzz, the flood of likes.
But because your self-worth isn't anchored inside, that validation evaporates. So you're left needing the next fix, the next purchase, the next achievement, the next like-worthy post.
Just to get that temporary feeling back.
Exactly. It's an endless, unsustainable loop. Keeps you always wanting more, never finding lasting peace or contentment, never truly feeling your own intrinsic value.
That really is the crucial takeaway, isn't it? The interconnectedness, that shared root needing external approval. Be empowered media makes that connection so clearly.
They do.
And what's so useful is how the solutions they offer for each problem, materialism, boasting, flexing, they all line up. They reinforce each other, building towards this overarching philosophy for a more authentic, fulfilling life.
Okay, let's synthesize those solutions. What's the big picture?
Well, the first big theme is embrace inner richness over outward excess.
Focus inward, not outward.
Exactly. Consciously shift your focus. Instead of accumulating possessions, cultivate a rich inner life. Practice gratitude for what you have. Prioritize experiences over things. Memories last, products don't, right?
Right. Redefine success.
Redefine success based on internal stuff. Peace, purpose, authenticity, not price tags. And develop those inner qualities. Real confidence, kindness, creativity, resilience. Those are priceless. You can't buy them, and no one can take them away. Secondly, a huge recurring theme is cultivate authentic connections.
People over possessions.
Absolutely. This comes up as a solution for materialism, for boasting, for flexing. Prioritize genuine reciprocal relationships over stuff and superficial displays. True connection based on empathy, trust, vulnerability, respect gives you way more lasting fulfillment than any product or round of applause ever could.
Invest your energy wisely.
Yeah. Invest in real human bonds that nourish you instead of exhausting yourself chasing fleeting approval. Thirdly, and this applies so well to boasting and flex culture, is the principle. Let actions speak for themselves.
Demonstrate, don't just proclaim.
Exactly. True strength, lasting success, comes from consistent effort, quiet perseverance, genuine humility. Not shouting about it or constantly showing off. Focus on being the best version of yourself, doing good work, making meaningful contributions. Trust that your character and impact will shine through without needing the constant spotlight.
Your work speaks for itself.
Precisely. Your impact speaks louder than any boast. And finally, they advocate for this mindset of simplify and be mindful.
Less stuff, more awareness.
Pretty much. Owning less, clearing clutter, it often brings clarity, reduces mental load, fosters peace, frees you from the burden of constant acquisition and maintenance. And at the same time, being really mindful of the content you consume, especially online.
Protecting your mental space again.
Crucial. Protect yourself from those unrealistic narratives. Foster a healthier, more grounded self-perception. Choose meaning over marketing, lasting joy over fleeting judgment. So when you put it all together, Be Empowered media's core message is incredibly clear, consistent, and really empowering.
What's the ultimate takeaway?
That true happiness, real fulfillment, a solid sense of worth, they aren't found outside yourself. They're found within.
In who you are.
In who you are, the life you build with intention and integrity, the genuine connections you nurture. The focus has to shift. away from chasing external approval and material validation towards personal growth and self-acceptance. It's a call to come back to your core self, embrace the richness that's already inside you.
What an absolutely fantastic, really illuminating deep dive. We've tracked how materialism, that chase for stuff and boasting, the need to proclaim, they just merge so powerfully in flex culture, that digital performance.
Yeah, it's all connected.
And underneath it all, as Empowered Media shows so brilliantly, is often that fundamental search for external validation.
The common root.
Their core message really sticks with you. The best things in life just aren't things. And your true value, it's inherent. You were born with it. It's not something you buy or display.
That's a powerful thought.
It really is.
Yeah.
So for you, our listener, here's a final thought to maybe chew on, something that really captures the essence of this whole discussion. You were born with nothing, yet you came into this world with infinite value. No object can truly enhance that, and no trend can define it. What would your life actually look like if you genuinely believed that? If you lived lighter, standing taller, not on a platform of possessions, but on the unshakable foundation of purpose and your own inherent worth.
Something to really consider.
Definitely. And we absolutely want to give another huge, enthusiastic shout out to Empowered Media. Their content is consistently insightful, truly motivational.
They provide real value.
Absolutely. Helping us all reflect, maybe start that journey towards inner richness and genuine self-acceptance. If these ideas resonated with you as much as they did with us, we strongly encourage you, go subscribe to the Be Empowered Media YouTube channel. You'll find so much more compelling, motivational content there that really makes you think and helps you grow.
Well worth checking out.
Totally. Well, thank you for diving deep with us today. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge, keep asking questions, and keep nurturing that inner richness.